Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Beyond the Sewing Room. I'm Diane. So today I thought I'd share my latest make and also something that went wrong. Not because of something I did, but something wrong with the fabric, and I will explain what was wrong with it and how I fixed it. Now, sometimes we buy pieces of fabric and for whatever reason we cut pieces out or just find that there is a flaw in it. Now, of course, I could have taken the fabric back, but I bought this a couple of months ago when we had a trip into the city centre, and I don't know where my receipt is. Time has passed now. It would have been quite a trek to go over and take it back, and then of course you don't know what they would have said. They could have said I'd done it, or maybe they wouldn't, or I'm sure she didn't see it when she was cutting it out, but anyway, it had sort of a ladder or a flaw going through the centre of the fabric, and then when I've pressed the fabric and then cut my pieces out, I had it on the fold. I only actually noticed it was bang smack in the middle of my central piece once I was already making it up. Now I know I didn't catch it. The nature of it, it didn't look like it had been pulled, and usually if you would catch it yourself and have a pull in it, there would be like a pulled thread or some evidence of that. And it wasn't, it just basically looked like sort of a ladder or sort of print missing going across the middle. I'm going to insert some footage because I did take a few pictures to show them to my friend because I was that annoyed at the time when it happened. But then I sat there and had to think, what can I do? What can I do to make this right? I only had a small piece of fabric left as well because I only bought a small piece of fabric for this, knowing it was going to be sleeveless. So it was like that, whether I could cut a central piece, because that was my original thought, but there wasn't enough to do that. So I had a little play around and I think what to do. And what I've done, I'm going to bring the camera around here so you can see it on the desk, and then I'll pop it on so you can see it on. I've done 2 lines of stitching, sort of a pleat effect in the centre of it, like this. So we've got a line here on a curve and a line here. And I've done those in the hope that that looks like sort of a feature rather than just random stitching in the middle. And I'll show you on the images what the floor looked like. Hopefully the camera will pick it up, but you can still just see a bit of it just here. Maybe you can't see that, it's a little bit dark. So this is a little scrap piece that I had left. As I said, I didn't have very much left from that fabric at all, but I thought I would show you what I did just in case you want to or need to do this on something of yours. If you get something glaringly obvious in the middle of a top, or maybe even a stain, might be handy for covering up a stain. So what I did was, the middle of my top had the run going through it. I sort of pinched it in the centre. I made a tuck like this to sort of cover the line that was there, and then put some pins, and I shaped it downwards a bit like a frown. You do need to sort of then check on both sides that it's even. And so that it didn't look like just one pleat on its own, I added another one underneath. Of course, this does affect the front hem. You'll have a shorter hem, so you'll either have to adjust the back one, or maybe you like it sort of high-low. And then once you've got it pinned in place, you can just adjust it if it's not even. So you can see that sort of pleated effect. That might be just nice to have on a top, and add that on a panel beforehand. Maybe do it all the way up and then put it in as a central panel. I might do that on another top in future actually. So yeah, that's just giving the effect of pleats, but also covering up the sort of big ladder that was going through the fabric. And like I said, if you've got a stain, it would also cover up a stain. So that's just basically what I did, and then I just top stitched along the top of it. But you need to make sure that it runs off to nothing, so like a dart would, so that you haven't got big sort of pleats going into the side of your garment. So it's just at the front, like that. Hope that's helpful. So just a bit of it just poking out the side there, but it went right the way across the central piece. Marvellous. If I'd have seen that before, maybe I could have tried to cut around it. So yes, I was determined that wasn't going to beat me. And anyway, it's finished. I finished it today. So it's sort of a linen kind of fabric, a linen blend. The trouble is, this kind of fabric, it is prone to that kind of thing, and you have to be really careful when you're washing it as well. So the top's finished. I am happy with it. I mean, hopefully that's not too much of a glaring thing I've got going on in the middle. Hopefully it just looks like it's supposed to be like that, if you wouldn't know. At the back, it's got the vent and little button and loop. And the view that I chose, so it's New Look 6483, and I did share that I was probably going to make this one in my previous video because I decided the other one, the Atelier Brunette one, had the ties at the side, and I just thought it might have been a bit of a faff if I wasn't probably going to be showing those much, especially because a lot of the time I'll probably end up having to put a jacket or something over the top if it gets cool while we're out. We might have a few hot sunny days during the summer, but it's not usually consistently throughout. So look, there's different views you can do with shoulder and neckline, and I've gone for this one because I like the way that these shoulders come in, and it just gives it a nicer shape, and it's got the little vents at the side. So I'm going to pop that on so you can see what it looks like actually on a person. So here it is on. Come a bit closer so you can see like stitching here, here and here, 2 lines. So hopefully that's not too obvious. I do like that the shoulder comes in a little bit more. I've got a top underneath today, but I won't usually. And then it's got vents at the side. I'll come back a bit so you can see. Vents at the side, darts here, and it's completely faced all round here and under the arms, and it goes across the front and across the back, and then it has the vent. I think I've done my button up correctly. Sometimes if you don't do it up correctly it looks a bit off at the back. So yeah, aside from all this, which got me really annoyed, I do like the top, and I do like it in this fabric, and I think it will go with the jacket that I made the other day, so the PLR jacket in that sort of pink, because this has got pink in with this sort of coral colour. Yeah, so that's my adventures this week with that one. Let me know if you've had anything similar. I mean, there's usually something that you can do. You shouldn't have to, but there's usually something you can do to fix these things. I think after trying it on again, I may even make it a little shorter. It is quite a long line t-shirt for me, that I don't usually wear them as long as that. I think some of the other versions may actually be shorter. I think I've gone for a slightly longer one with that one. But yeah, I might just take a little bit off it and make it a little bit shorter, because if it's going to be one that I don't tuck in, I don't think I want it coming quite so low. And it has got quite a loose fit to the bottom of it as well, this one. So just something to bear in mind if you're going to make it. I have made it a few times, as I said before, and I've made the one with the sleeve on. So that one's quite nice. And of course what fabric you choose will depend on how it hangs. I have got something else lined up that I'm going to be making with you maybe next week or the week after. I'm not entirely sure yet because I don't know what fabric I'm going to do it in just yet. So it's another Maison Fauve pattern that I've printed off. So it's a free one, and I thought for that one I'll probably do a sew along with you, just in case you want to go onto the website, print off the free pattern and make it with me, or save the video and come back to it later anyway. So I've got that printed off ready. I just need to have a look in my bits that I've got left over to see what would be suitable, because it is quite a small thing. It is something to wear, and I don't think it'll take too much fabric. So it might be a really good one for your stash busting or scrap busting projects. So I'll share that with you in the coming video and decide on what I'm going to use, and then, as I said, I'll plan a sew along and you can have a go at that with me. So thank you for watching today. I know it was a short one, but I just thought I'd share that latest make and the mishap that I had with it. And I hope you're all doing really well. And I will be back soon. Bye for now.